Now, South Africans have seemingly moved on from the daily pain of checking apps to see when their area will be without power. That's after experiencing the festive season and even several months with the lights on. But while 2024 has been a good year, the question now turns to what 2025 will look like for Eskom and the country's energy struggles. Newzroom Afrika's Andersen filed this report.
This Christmas, the lights stayed on. In fact, for most of 2024, the lights remained on. Load shedding in the country has been suspended since 5 a.m. on the 26th of March 2024. That means the country has had 284 days of no rolling blackouts. While that's normal for most of the world, if you had asked any South African a year and a half ago if they thought load shedding would be gone so soon, very few would have said yes. So the question remains, in 2025, is load shedding gone for good? According to energy expert and former Eskom manager, Vale Pariachi, while it might not be completely gone, load shedding is likely to be only a freak occurrence.
I don't believe we'll get back to the rampant load shedding that we had for the last 2 or 3 years. But by Eskom's own admission, by the ministry's own admission, and also my viewpoint, there are some inherent risks in the generation system. And so if we do have a sudden hiccup because of those inherent risks, I believe we'll get to the odd stage 1 or 2 load shedding. But that could be more the exception than the rule.
Eskom has managed to save over 16 billion rand in diesel costs since the end of load shedding. On top of that, on New Year's Eve, the power utility announced that a year-long maintenance program at Koeberg Nuclear Power Station was completed. The maintenance program is set to give both Koeberg Nuclear Power Station units an extra 20-year lifespan. And with Unit 2 now also connected to the national grid, over 900 megawatts of additional power is now available.
If you give it context, another 930 megawatts further gives me comfort that this 9 months could be further taken into the future, because it's a matter of supply meeting demand. And this 930 megawatts of Unit 2 adds to that supply, and hence it further mitigates the risk of load shedding.
Eskom isn't just facing the battle of keeping the lights on in 2025, though. Its demands to raise the cost of electricity more and more is deeply hurting the most vulnerable South Africans. That's according to Electricity Minister Kosienso Ramakgopa.
An economic problem, and the great majority of people have to make choices. Like I said, they are not going to be celebrating. It's a Black Christmas for them. And then we'll be switching them off. And then next, whatever the tariff increase is, whether it's 10, it's 15, it's 30, it's 36, really they still can't afford what is before them. So we are just pushing them deeper and deeper into conditions of poverty.
But while the country waits with uncertainty to hear how much more they'll have to pay for their electricity this year, Eskom expects 2025 to be its first profitable year in 8 years. The power utility says it expects a full year profit of more than 10 billion rand in the 2025 financial year. So with the current Eskom leadership team now receiving praise for their work over the last year, Pariachi too has faith that the current team is the one to fully rescue Eskom and the country from its power woes.
The success of running that company depends on the management, on the leadership, as to how efficiently and effectively they manage those risks. I'm comfortable that the new leadership team, from the board, from the new CEO, the executive team, the power station managers, the foot soldiers, we have a new breed of people. And I'm comfortable, because I come from generation, I'm a generation engineer myself, that these people would mitigate those risks.
So while the costs might be soaring and some metros have their electricity infrastructure challenges, when it comes to Eskom, for the first time in a very long time, the outlook for the year ahead looks bright. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Andersen in Johannesburg.